So thank you for this opportunity to welcome you to the Lekwungen territory. I appreciate the invitation to share some time with you and also to make you feel welcome in our territory. So Asiem Nushjelicha, Asiem Nushwalakwa, Aishkwa Kwansana, Techo Lekwungen Kanuch, Aichka Siem Nakwilia. And that's a typical welcome to our territory that we use in all gatherings and in the welcome to our territory. And I really hope that you do feel welcome. And I hope that your celebration goes well. And with the pandemic just about ending, I think we're getting closer to real hugs and shaking hands, so it's I think the past year has made us very vulnerable, but I think we can get together as a community again and welcome everybody to the community. So this is a paddle welcome song, and thank you again. Haishkwa. Welcome.
Just had to live, and I wanna give a completely positive.
I think this time around I am gonna do it like you never knew it.
Oh, I'll make it through.
The time has come for me to break out of my shell.
I have to shout that I'm coming out. I'm coming out. I want the world to know, got to let it show. I'm coming out, yeah. I want the world to know, got to let it show.
Are we recording? We are. Okay, happy Pride, everyone. Hope you're all staying happy and safe throughout this panini. You know, Pride is a celebration. It's a protest because we are family. I got all my sisters with me. Oh, we are family.
choice. Yeah, yeah. Just let me state for the record, we're giving love in a family dose.
We are family. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I got all my sisters with me. Hey, yeah. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing.
Whoa.
We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing.
Hey, my name is Kingsley Strudwick.
Hello, my name is Rowan Yates.
Hi, I'm Jerry Kramer.
My name is Patricia Rawson.
My name is Rudy Tomasic.
Hello, I'm Robin McGee.
I'm from the Tahltan Nation of Telegraph Creek, BC, and I am a queer individual. And I just want to say to other Indigenous people who are queer and two-spirit that I see you, I recognize you, and I want to thank you for all that you are. And as I mentioned already, take that time to step into who you are and step into your being and to be loud and be proud, and you will have many, many, many more of us who will walk alongside you.
Pride is two things. First of all, Pride is a celebration. It's a celebration for us to recognize how far we've come as a community. But it's also a political event and a protest. And we look at the work and how far we have yet to go to make sure that all the members of our community finally have equity.
Oof, right off the top of the head, I have to say resiliency. Time and time again, Pride has come up as the first kind of defining act to making some actual real change happen. I mean, we look at North America, our Pride is centered around the Stonewall riots and Marsha P. Johnson doing her thing, fucking shit up, which I respect. So that was kind of like the first thing. She first then had to take pride in herself and make sure in her community to then kind of get that ball going. So that's really what it is. It's, yeah, resiliency. It's the triumph, more specifically, actually, I would say the triumph of a Black woman's spirit. And then when I think of Pride, I think of those women. I think of Marsha, go back to her. I think of her and just how she had the strength every day to get up and just be like, I'm not going to take this shit anymore. Like, I'm just not. And I think about every other strong Black woman who's ever been in the media or even in like other people's families. Like, I'm sure anyone watching this can think of one strong Black woman that they know, and just how much and how incredible to watch that is. And that's essentially Pride to me, the resiliency of a Black woman.
Pride means to me celebrating self-determination, bodily autonomy, and the personal agency in asserting who we are and who we love. And because we don't exist in isolation, Pride is also respecting the rights and consent of others to live as ourselves.
To me, Pride means being able to stand in your power and to feel confident and also okay with being in your own shoes.
To me, Pride Month is all about returning to our history, bringing it to the present, and using it to make positive progress to our future.
Pride to me means just overbearing, all-encompassing love, inclusivity, and the ability to be transparent and visible here in this country, even though there's still a lot of work to be done, but I think we're getting there.
Yeah, it's a big concept to think about, and I think it has changed for me over time, but right now it feels like a sense of arriving into myself and my own identity, of arriving into a broader community, whether I know people directly or not, and I'm thinking about how like huge and spectacular and just magnificent Pride in person often is, but even within all of that like delightful chaos, how it does feel like, oh, I'm arriving and I don't have to put on any sort of face or performance. I can just like show up and be who I am, and yeah, people's assumptions just kind of like fall off, along with some of our clothes sometimes, but that's all good.
Most people recognize Pride as having begun with the Stonewall riots, when most particularly the trans and BIPOC members of our community had finally had enough of being harassed by the police. It is so often the most marginalized members of our community that have had to fight the hardest and have fought the hardest for all of us. And to call these people marginalized is almost not even a strong enough word for the amount of discrimination and violence that has been perpetrated against that part of the community.
I think for us to do better in a society sense, that we need to recognize that any work that we do is going to have to be intersectional. It is really easy for people, myself included, to fall into that trap of focusing on one individual community and their struggles, especially if they're a marginalized community, and ignore the fact that there are going to be those intersecting identities within it. So when we talk about being queer or two-spirit, a lot of the time those individuals are experiencing different forms of prejudice or discrimination, or even just life experiences that are going to be very different from someone who is just Indigenous or someone who is just queer. And I think it's really important that we all do that work to recognize that those intersections exist, and to recognize that there's going to be dynamics or times when we cannot relate, and we might not have an answer, and sometimes we just need to be there and walk alongside somebody who needs it, or just be there to listen to somebody who needs it.
Absolutely. We as a queer community need to remember that disability can affect anyone. So when you say inclusiveness, you need to include disability in that definition.
I think the first thing we need to do is stop fucking lying to ourselves and thinking that we're doing a better job than we actually are. Like, we have this tendency as a society to hit one major milestone and then immediately celebrate it and be like, hey, fuck, we did it. We won this thing. We don't have to fight anymore. We saw in the late 80s, early 90s, a prevalence of, white men championing for gay rights. But the second they kind of hit that milestone of where gay marriage was legal across all provinces and starting kind of creeping into the states, that push, that drive, that fire, whatever the fuck it was, that anger, it just kind of dissipated because they got exactly what they wanted. And then they were like, all right, cool. We don't have to do the work anymore. We got what we needed. They didn't look back. That's what they didn't do. They didn't look back and see who's behind them and reach a hand back and say, here, I'm going to pull you up. As soon as it became kind of more acceptable for certain queer communities, again, they said, it's fine for us. You guys don't need us. And there's all of this kind of infighting, and we build up a lot of reasons to separate ourselves when we really need to start looking for reasons to come together.
I'd say first, in the most basic way, is just listen to sex workers. Sex worker activists have always been at the forefront of queer and trans rights. And I think sex workers have a lot to teach about bodily autonomy, personal consent, that everyone can learn from. But too often we are spoken for and spoken over. So yeah, listen to us, advocate against the laws that hurt us, reach out and ask how you can support us.
I think take the initiative to lean into these conversations without relying on LGBTQ2S+ people to always be the ones to bring it to the table. I found people are really willing to respond when people bring up issues, but aren't necessarily as skilled at identifying the barriers that other people experience on their own. So that would be one thing, is just, going through these kind of educational experiences and building relationships with queer and trans and non-binary people in the community, because the more you know people, the more you will care.
Stop asking people who are in the positions that are at a disadvantaged position, stop asking them what they can do fucking better. That's not their job. Their job is to make it through the day, to go home, to see their family, and live and try to enjoy some slice of life. It's your job as the person in an advantageous position to make it better.
As a queer Indigenous man, in light of the new residential school minor genocide, we don't need people to apologize. Everyone's been apologizing for the last like 80 years. But what we can do to reconcile all of that is just talk about it and be comfortable about talking about it. And just ending that discrimination of Indigenous people, because this is our land. It was originally our land, and it was taken away from us in a horrible way.
My name's Rachel Phillips, and I'm the director at Peers Victoria, and my pronouns are she and her, and I'm a cisgender settler in the Lekwungen territories, and I'm straight, and mostly straight, not entirely straight.
Hi everyone, my name is Sofia. My pronouns are she and her. I'm the operations manager here at Peers. I also work with trans, non-binary, and two-spirit sex workers. I am also a white settler on Lekwungen territory, and I'm a pansexual trans woman.
Peers was founded in 1995. It's a by and for sex worker organization. It's always had some allies in it, and that's true of today too. So most of the people that work at Peers are current or former sex workers, but there's also some allies in the organization. And we provide supports to sex workers of diverse genders and sexualities, and a wide range of supports, from housing to health supports to just social groups, education, political counseling, just you name it. We have a wide variety of services for sex workers in this region.
We also have a community group for trans, non-binary, and two-spirit sex workers, where people can share a meal and community that will be evolving into a weekly drop-in service and one-on-one peer support program this summer.
People usually drop by the center, or we meet them when we're doing outreach. A lot of our services are out in the community. We have a night outreach van that's out 7 nights a week, and we meet people that way as well. But people are open to just self-refer to our programs.
Yeah. You can also call me at 250-388-5325 extension 2, or you can email me at admin@peers.bc.ca.
Hello, my name is Rowan. I use he, him, they, them pronouns, and I work at the Victoria Disability Resource Centre. In addition to disability-focused services, we also co-facilitate Queerabilities with Marshall Kilda from ABI Community Services. Queerabilities is intended for people who identify as queer and also who identify with the disability community. We are inclusive of those who do not have a formal diagnosis. We serve Greater Victoria and the South Island area, and meetings typically happen Monday afternoon from 3 to 5 p.m. and every second Thursday from 7 to 9. You can find us on Facebook, or you can go to our organization's websites and find all the information there.
Hi, how are you? My name is Abuson, living in Victoria, BC, coming from Uganda as a refugee. I have been here for now almost 2 years, but not yet really. I'm here because of the Pride, the first Pride festival ever, held in a place in Kakuma refugee camp. This happened in 2018.
Well, in Kenya, Kakuma village or refugee camp, which is a small community, they've made history by staging what is said to be the world's first LGBT Pride festival in a refugee camp.
From neighboring Uganda, many fled their country as the government tried to introduce a new Kill the Gays bill.
I'm really happy. I feel like I'm with my family. I'm with you guys. I'm very happy for real. Yeah. Pride means the life to me. Pride means I breathe. The air I'm breathing right now. Like that's the pride, and that's who I am. Pride means myself. The way you see me, that's who I am, and that's the pride mean. We know who we are, and we really love it. We just request you to do the same, to love us the way we are, as the way we love you, because we love people. We love you guys, and you know it's always heartbreaking, and that's where we get so, traumatized, depressed, because we pay a lot of love to the world, whereby the world cannot pay it back, and which is really disappointing. And I'm here to request you guys, support anyone or someone doing something great for the community, doing something like adding something for our movement, because it's not stopping here. For me, I'm still an activist, LGBTQ, also in Uganda, and I would love to also take this chance to tell Uganda, sweethearts, get ready for the change. Change is coming. So stay tuned, guys. I love you.